So I'm a senior in college, and I've recently gotten a job for, I guess, the next coming 2 years of my life, and I'm going to be working on Wall Street. And right now the barn is on fire, and I'm running straight for the barn. So I guess my question is, in such a money-hungry world, how do I stay grounded? I mean, in that environment.
Oh. Money-hungry? And of course you mean that in the nicest possible way.
Nicest possible way.
Well, the reason we want to play with you a little bit is money-hungry implies disapproval. And if you are running toward an industry or a concept that you are inherently disapproving of, you're setting yourself up for a lot of vibrational discord within you. Would you like to rephrase it or run a different direction?
I'll rephrase it.
Because? I'll rephrase it because?
I'll rephrase it because I don't think money is a disapproving thing, or I'm not. I'm in alignment with.
So why do you think you said that?
Because that might be the attitude around which I'm hearing from other people.
It might be what people are thinking about it, but when you try to make part of your vibration what others think about it, just to please them or just to be in vogue, and it gets you at the basis of your profession out of balance, that's far too big of a price to pay just to fit in, don't you think?
Yeah.
So what did you really mean?
I'd like not to lose my mind when I go to Wall Street. I'd like to be able to stay connected to source.
There, those were the words we were looking for. So, and that's what you meant when you said stay grounded. Now let's put this into that vernacular. So, source within me has an opinion. I have an opinion. Source's opinion about money, about prosperity, about value, about fairness, has grown out of what I've been living. In other words, so this attitude or understanding about Wall Street, about economics, that I'm now matching up to, has grown out of the collective consciousness of what we have lived, and this is an opinion that I want to find vibrational alignment with. So before we work on the alignment, let's talk about what that opinion is. What does Source know about economics? And this is why we jumped all over you lovingly with your first comment, because that comment about greed or about inappropriateness relative to money could not be more opposed to Source. You could not find a position that is more in the opposite direction. What does Source know about economics? Let's start there. So Source knows that all things that are manifested, like dollars and even markets, are born out of vibration first. So isn't it logical that when you feel confident, you are in alignment with Source?
Yes.
And therefore, isn't it logical that when millions of people feel confident, they would be in alignment with Source?
Yes.
And isn't it logical that millions of people in alignment with Source equals a robust market,
yes,
one that's thriving?
Yes.
And isn't it logical that millions of people who have been directed toward fearful thoughts, who have lost confidence, would be moving toward a market that has not much confidence?
Yes.
But it doesn't even really matter what other millions of people are feeling about a market. It only matters what you are feeling in relationship to your own. In other words, it is a law that you can take to the bank. That when you are a vibrational match to a thought that feels good to you when you think it, it means that good things about whatever the subject is that you're focused upon are on their way to you, you see. We're just wanting to convey to you that you don't need to wait for a stable market in order to eagerly run for the barn called Wall Street. You have the ability single-handedly to find your alignment with any subject. And when you do, you'll feel a compulsion to move in the direction of it, and it will treat you right.
Thank you. That really helps.
So the question that we want to put to all of you on the heels of what we just discussed here is, how do you get from the place of being so aware of what maybe millions are beating the drum of, how do you hold stability in an environment like that? How do you do it? By stepping back from the details of the data that they are all using to torture themselves into more stable data that you've already discovered. And what is that data? What is a more stable understanding right now, today, than the law of economics in your financial environment? What's a more stable law? Law of attraction. What's law of gravity is more stable than that too, isn't it? What goes up must come down. You've known it all along. Have you been listening to us for a while? So have you heard us say that when someone is sick, that vibrationally speaking, they are weller now than they were before they got sick? So what just happened to your financial market? Big time. It got bigger and better and weller vibrationally than it has ever been before. Your stock market, your financial basis worldwide just increased dramatically, many times more dramatically in the last week than it has in the last 5 years. That's what just happened. That's reason to celebrate, unless you're on the outside of it. That's reason to celebrate, unless you're over here vibrationally still in the vibration of fear. So what do? How can you, in essence, be sick and give birth to wellness and then turn in the direction of the wellness? You have to start telling the story of wellness. You have to stop flailing about, beating the drum of what's gone wrong. You have to start lining up with what you want. And so what does something like a financial crisis do to you as an individual? It makes you seek more stability. It makes you want more autonomy. It makes you want to be more stable. It makes you care about more of the people of the world. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Doesn't it make you want for the well-being of more? Also, didn't you and millions of others like you, didn't you just put more people that you don't even know in your vibrational escrow? Didn't you start requesting from source energy on the behalf of a larger number of people? Isn't that what happened to you? You've done it whether you know that you've done it or not. Now, when you find a reason to feel good, when you pet your cat, when you bask, when you put your feet in the water, when you make love, when you do things that distract you from the problems of your day, and you use any excuses you can to cause the cessation of resistance and therefore the allowance of alignment, when you do that, what are you now aligning to? What are you aligning to that was not even there to align with last week? You're aligning to more abundance. Do you see what we're getting at? That's why we don't worry about the hiccups. We don't want to get rid of contrast. We don't want the things that you think you don't want to go away. We want them to stay here to stimulate you to more wanting. We just don't want you to be among the ones who keep asking for more but keep holding yourself in deprivation of what you and your culture and your world and your economy have expanded to. It's time for you to begin to allow the abundance that you've asked for. And when you ask in an extra strong way, strong asking and a little allowing goes a long, long way.